Hello and welcome back to Cyber Install Coding. Have you ever wondered what happened when your application suddenly gets more traffic than a single server can handle? Or even your backend server suddenly goes down? In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to solve this problem using the Nginx as a load balancer. I'll show you how to run multiple instances of Backend API and also how to configure Nginx to distribute requests between them and see the load balancing in real applications. We will also look at the different ways Nginx can distribute traffic, including round robin, list connection, with, and also backups. The best part is that we will test and run everything step by step by using Docker. So if you're ready, let's get started. In the previous part, we learned how to use Nginx as a reverse proxy and how to secure our application with HTTPS. But let's imagine our application becomes more popular and starts receiving thousands or even millions of requests. Now we have a problem. Single server has limited resources such as CPU and memory, so at the same point, it may not able to handle all the incoming requests efficiently. This is also another problem. If our backend server goes down for any reason, our application becomes unavailable because we have no other backend instance to handle the request. So instead of relying on one backend instance, we can run multiple instances of our backend application on different servers and distribute the incoming traffic between them. This is where load balancer comes in. A load balancer sits between the user and our backend servers. It receives incoming requests and decide which backend server should handle its request. By doing this, we can distribute the traffic between multiple backend instances and improve the availability of our application. In a typical production environment, these backend instances would usually run on different servers, different VPS, and Nginx distributes the incoming requests between them. However, creating 3 VPS servers just for this tutorial is not make much sense. So I'm going to simulate this setup using Docker. Instead of creating different VPS servers, I will create 3 containers from the same backend application and run them at the same machine. Then we will configure Nginx as a load balancer to distribute requests between these 3 backend containers. As you remember, we have an application, a simple application with a Node.js backend, React.js frontend, and a Docker Compose to manage the service. We have a Mongo database, a Mongo Express, and we configure Nginx inside the Docker Compose as a service. As you see, currently we have only one API service running. To create load balance environment, we need more than one backend instance. So I copy the API part and paste it 2 times. I changed the second API service name to API 2 and the third API service name to API 3. These services, as you see, uses the same backend code and same configuration as our original API servers. The only difference is that they will run as separate containers. After this change, we will have 3 backend containers running at the same time, the API 2 and API 3. Now, if we pull the changes on the VPS and rebuild the change with Docker Compose up --build -d, as you can see, we have 3 API here, but at the point 3 API are available, but Nginx is still sending the request to only one API service, which is API -1. The next step is to configure Nginx as a load balancer. I want to make one small change before configuring Nginx. When we test the load balancer, we need an easy way to see which API instance is handling each request. So I'm going to give each backend container its own name using an environment variable. So for the original API service, I create a new environment variable with is API underline name, and I set it to the service name, which is API. And for the second API, I create the same API, same environment variable, and I set the name to API2. And for the third one, I do the same and set it to API3. These values will be available inside the Node.js application through process.env.api name. And inside our backends, these values are accessible by process.env.api name. I add it to the response. So any response comes from the backend, we can see the API name, so we can see which API are handling this request. This is only for testing, and we can easily see how requests are being distributed. Now that our 3 backend instances are ready, let's configure Nginx as a load balancer. So inside the default.conf file, which is an Nginx configuration file, as you can see, we have 2 server blocks. First one for listens to the port 80 and redirect it to the second block. And the second block is listening to the port 443, which is SSL. And inside it, we have a proxy pass for the backend, frontend, and Mongo Express. We want to add the load balancer here. So before the server blocks, let's create a block. Its name is upstream. And let's give a name for this upstream. I named it backend underline servers. And inside the upstream block, we define our backend servers. I write the server name and then the name of our service, which is API, and the colon, the port number, which is 3001. The second server is API2, and the port is the same. And the third one is API 3:3001. I'm using the Docker Compose service name, as you see, instead of the IP address, because the container are running inside the same Docker network. Nginx can find them using their service names. So API 3001 points to the first backend container, API 2 3001 point to the second one, and API 3 2001 points to the third one. By default, Nginx uses the round-robin method for this upstream group. This means Nginx distributes requests between the available servers one after another. For example, first request goes to API, the second request goes to API2, the third request goes to API3, and the process starts again. So with this upstream, Nginx knows all about the backend instance. Now we need to make one final change in our API location. Previously, the Nginx forwards the request directly to API service, but now we want Nginx to use our upstream group instead of the API port 3001. I'm going to use the upstream name, which is backend servers. From now, Nginx can choose one of 3 backend instances for each API requests. So let's save and push the change and test it in a VPS. So inside the apps folder and Nginx folder, I'm going to pull the changes and stop the container with Docker Compose down. Then I'm going to build the containers with Docker Compose up -- build -d. As you can see, we have 3 API containers, API 2 and API 3. Now let's make sure the Nginx configuration is valid. So I write docker exec -it and Nginx test app Nginx 1 Nginx -t. And as you can see, the syntax is okay and the test is successful. Now let's test our load balancer. Let's open the network tab and let's refresh it. As you can see, the first request goes to the API. The second request goes to API 2. Another request goes to API 3, and again, final request goes to API, the first one. So our load balancer is working properly. As you can see, the response are coming from different API instance. The important thing is that the client doesn't need to know which API server is handling the request. The client only communicate with Nginx, and Nginx takes care of choosing the backend server. But there is one more thing I want to test. What happened if one backend instance goes down? So I'm going to stop API 2 with Docker stop Nginx test app API 2-1. Let's check it, but Docker PS. As you can see, the API 2 is no longer running. Let's test it, the application. Let's refresh the page. And as you can see, the first response handled by the first request handled by API 1. Let's add another user here, and as you can see, the second one handled by API 3. Because the API 2 is not available, Nginx sends the request to other available backend instance, which is API 1 and API 3. So even one backend container is down, the application is still available. Of course, this is a simple example, but all 3 containers are running at the same VPS. So if the VPS itself goes down, all 3 instances will be unavailable. But if one backend containers fail for any reasons, the other instance continue handling requests. This is one important benefit of using multiple backend instances behind the load balancer. Let's start the API 2 again with Docker start Nginx test app API 2-1. And if you test it again, you can see the first request is to API and the second request goes to API 2. So far, you've learned how load balancer managed incoming requests. In our example, Nginx using round robin method. This means Nginx sends requests to our backend servers one by one, but round robin is not the only way to distribute requests. For example, Nginx can also use list connection method. With this method, Nginx looks a number of active connections on each backend server and send a new request to the server with the fewest active connection. So instead of simply taking turns, Nginx consider how busy each server currently is. To enable the list connection method, here you can simply add a list underline add it inside the upstream block. Now Nginx will choose the backend server with the fewest active connections. This can be useful when some requests takes longer to complete than others because one server may have fewer active connections even if it receives more requests earlier. Another option we can use is the wait parameter. With wait parameter, we can tell Nginx to send more traffic to one server. For example, we can add here wait equal to 3 for the first one and wait equal to 1 for the second and third one. Here, API 1 has the weight of 3, while the API second and third has the weight of 1. This means that API 1 will receive the longer share of traffic. It can be useful when our backend server doesn't have the same amount of CPU memory or processing capacity. And finally, we have the backup option. The backup server doesn't normally receive traffic. Instead, Nginx uses it when other backend servers are unavailable. For example, if I add the backup option for the third server, in this example, for the third server, the API 1 and API 2 handle the normal traffic, and API 3 stays available as a backup and is used when other servers are unavailable. So now you learn 3 different ways to control how Nginx distributes requests. Round robin distributes requests one by one. List connections send requests to the server with fewer active connections, and wait allows to give some servers a larger share of traffic, and the backup option to let us keep a server available for situations where the main servers are unavailable. I won't test these options here, but I encourage you to try them yourself. Change the configuration, rebuild or reload Nginx, and send multiple requests to see how the behavior changes. It is one of the best way to understand how load balancing works in practice. That's it for this video. I hope you find it helpful. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like it, hit the subscribe button, and turn the notification on so you don't miss the next videos. Until the next video, as always, keep learning, keep building, and happy coding.